Hello, Aloy. Because of your efforts, and of course, I feel profound grief over Oria's death.
CYAN,
It is unlikely that any specific consolation. You are different from the Banuk. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive.
So are you an artificial?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity.
Okay, that's a mouth, but your emotions don't seem limited to me.
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries. I focused on my work. In off cycles, I used. It was Oria who renewed me.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise,
What do you mean?
it infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location. So while losing the cauldron was a...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
This firebreak project.
Yes. I can report the
But it's been a long time, CYAN. And
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I optimized the project, reducing and despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the...
So we've...
Yes. If only my...
How did you first come into
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. Eager to make contact, I accepted. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious...
Oria said you were desperate.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network, and it succeeded via a background process. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, it forced me to follow its instructions.
I'm sorry.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated.
I think I know where long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would... So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for... It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate function.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita... It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension.
I'm glad she did, but that's not all. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something. She destroyed herself to try to contain them.
Thank you, Aloy. This information feels vital.
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure.
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely if a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, a better solution would be to reinstate the AI. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, I feel.
You and me both. Do you know what happened?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional... There were no further communications. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction.
I ran across this strange piece of gear. It emitted a signal. All the nearby...
Interesting. You said that
An explosion. Big enough to blast the top...
It's only speculation. She must have had complete control over the ability to signal them to become passive. It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a...
Believe me, CYAN. I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's...
I like poetry, twilight and evening, and after that, the dark. And may there be no when I embark. For though from out the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my when I have crossed. But something must have made these machines. And the presence of... Is it possible that their creator is one of the other... Maybe one who's...
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machine. But what about the poem?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into... In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded.
How'd you do?
She said I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances. Once I understood Oria's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companion. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with ARATAK was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Oria's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, CYAN. But she was determined. How is ARATAK doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Oria, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
What was the old world like?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I...
You still had more exposure than me, CYAN.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted... The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built.
CYAN, do you know the name Ted?
Are you referring to Theodore Pharaoh?
That's him?
Mr. Pharaoh was the benefactor.
The benefactor? But
correct. His corporation. But before this pivot, Mr. Pharaoh spearheaded an... At one point, he was feted in the media.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And... Elizabeth...
Are you referring to the
scientist?
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. My creator was influenced by her work, but I never met Dr.
That's all you know?
I apologize if...
What kind of upheaval...
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed but these stemmed from one cause. Catastrophic climate.
So, there wasn't enough room?
Yes. Billions were displaced, and until the clawback.
So things got better?
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation. Green robot tech. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs. We had succeeded. At least it seems my assessment.
I should get...
Aloy, there is one more matter. ARATAK will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Oria.
You're asking me if you should lie to them?
Broadly, yes.
I trust your judgment, CYAN. You were cautious with her, so keep doing what you think is best.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity...
Just answer what they do ask the best you... The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, CYAN. I'll come back when I can. I should check on ARATAK. See how he's doing.
My chieftain.
Just Aloy.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Oria might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Oria would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Oria found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only there's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, ARATAK. Besides...
A wiser one. The daemon is gone, but...
You mean the new units that CYAN said escaped?
Yes, fire claws.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, CYAN, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. These minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.